Time is now 6:40. If you'll please begin making your way to your assigned table. This way here, our program can begin in 10 minutes. Once again, our program will begin in 10 minutes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening again. If you could start making your way to your table, the program will begin in approximately 2 minutes with the posting of the colors. So if you could start quickly making your way to the table, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out this evening. My name is Ed Walsh, and I'm excited to support Junior Achievement tonight at this very prestigious event. Would you please direct your attention to the stage and stand for the presentation of our colors by Captain Shreve High School JROTC Color Guard, commanded by Cadet Colonel Caleb Simon, coached by Sergeant First Class Alvin Gardner, and then for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance by Laura Crawford, 2015 JA Laureate. Would you please remain standing as the Color Guard posts the colors?
Let us pray. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, may the name of the Lord be praised. We thank you for the laureates to be honored tonight and for their dedication to our community. But we also thank you for the many men and women in this room who have contributed so greatly, both with their time and monetarily. We thank you for blessing so many here with so much. And we know that to whom much is given, much is required. Please open our eyes to see the great needs of those less fortunate than we, especially their need to learn financial skills and how to survive and actually thrive in this world. Forgive us when we get so caught up in our own world and our own pursuits that we are often not aware of those who need basic help and tools for everyday living. We also ask you to bless and comfort the families of recent laureates who are not with us tonight. Lacey Williams and Merritt Chastain gave so generously and unselfishly of their time and resources and were models of what junior achievement is all about. And now we ask you to bless this food to our use, us to thy service, and make us ever mindful of the needs of others. Please help us, dear Lord, in all we do to glorify you. In your holy name we pray. Amen. And now if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. I'd like to thank the Captain Shreve JROTC Color Guard, Sergeant First Class Alvin Gardner, Lieutenant Colonel Byron Layfield, Director of Army Instruction for Caddo Parish Schools, and Mrs. Laura Crawford for participating in tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to welcome to the podium our 2025 Honorary Chairman, John Atkins, who is also a 2023 JA Laureate.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. It's my honor to serve as the Honorary Chairman for 2025 Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame Laureate Induction Dinner. Thank you for joining us tonight to recognize three distinguished citizens of our community: Ross P. Barrett, C. DeWitt Carruthers, and G. Carlton Golden Jr. Your presence here not only honors our newest Junior Achievement Laureates, but it also demonstrates your continued commitment and support to the mission of Junior Achievement, which is to empower young people to own their economic success. Let me repeat that. The mission of Junior Achievement is to empower young people to own their economic success. Junior Achievement of North Louisiana is one of nearly 100 Junior Achievement regions within the United States, which, along with our international chapters, serve over 10 million students per year. Junior Achievement programs teach young people, ages kindergarten through 25, transformative skills in financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship, providing young people with both the skill set and the mindset to make academic and economic choices. These decisions to provide upward mobility to the participants as well as those whose lives are influenced by those participants. When we equip young people with these skills, the risks of living in poverty is reduced, and these outcomes have resulted in Junior Achievement being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. We live in a time when our financial lives are becoming more complicated. And studies have consistently shown that even well-informed parents often feel unprepared to discuss money issues with their children. JA's corporate and community volunteers deliver relevant, hands-on programs which connect real-life business experiences to financial decision-making. Junior Achievement bridges the ever-widening critical skills gap by helping students acquire the knowledge and tools needed to survive and thrive in our modern economy. Students involved in Junior Achievement develop transferable skills in critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. They often report increased confidence to navigate the education and career paths more effectively. These skills, along with the newfound resilience of the students, contribute to higher high school graduation rates and a more secure financial future. Again, let me thank you all for being here tonight. Your contributions and sponsorships for this event provide nearly 1/4 of the annual program budget for junior achievement. We appreciate your generosity and steadfast commitment to today's youth and the mission of junior achievement. You are changing lives and contributing to the success of our community. Thank you again for your invaluable support.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Nita Cook, and I'm the President and Executive Director for Junior Achievement. I just want to tell you how much it means to me year after year that we have a group of laureates that return along with their friends and family to support the mission of Junior Achievement, to support the young people in our community and across North Louisiana, and help these students learn the soft skills that will help them get a job, but also keep a job. So tonight, I want to recognize some distinguished guests, and I would like for you to stand at your table when I call your name and remain standing, and we can hold our applause to the end. We have lots of distinguished guests tonight, which I'm thrilled to introduce. First of all, Mayor Tom Arsenault, Commissioner Victor Thomas, Miss Ollie Tyler, former Mayor of Shreveport, the 8th Air Force Commander, Major General Jason Armagost and his wife Diane, Lieutenant General retired Robert Elder. We also have members of the Caddo Parish Central School Office, joined by their superintendent, Keith Burton, who supports junior achievement in the classroom. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. It is with the support of JA laureates and the Board of Directors that we have been able to set ambitious goals to sustain our student numbers and grow our volunteer base. Thank you, Denny, members of JA Board of Directors, Honorary Chairman John Atkins, and Laura Crawford, many of whom are here tonight to celebrate our greatest tradition, and the many others who are here tonight to celebrate our greatest tradition, the induction into the JA Business Hall of Fame. First, I'd like to go ahead and call on our board members to stand as I call your name. This is our 25-26 Board of Directors. Our Chairman from Regions, Denny Moten, Dr. Matthew Mitchell, Vice Chairman of Education for Caddo Parish Schools, Jennifer Elliott, Secretary Hancock Whitney, Greg Purcell, immediate past chairman with Manpower, David Waters with Morrison-Dixon, Hardy Foreman with Carr, Riggs and Ingram, Julie Milam with Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program, Trey Giglio with Universal Mechanical, Taylor Cottle with Architects Fundraising, Brian Helm with KPMG, and Keith Burton, the Superintendent of Caddo Parish Schools. Thank y'all. It is also with great pleasure that I introduce our Young Executive Society Board of Junior Achievement of North Louisiana. The JA YES Board is committed to advancing JA's mission through promoting interest in and generating support among the young professionals in the area. YES members are representative of the communities that junior achievement impacts and are reflective of the diverse student population we serve. Would you please stand as I call your name? Erica McCain is the chairman from Anika Federal Credit Union. Kenny Sellers, immediate past chair, Home Federal Bank. Ebony Bean, Emerald Career Consulting. William Anderson, Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program. And John David Persons, Wheelan. Thank y'all for coming tonight to help. And if you notice, they helped us do some check-in, and all those things are already serving JA in that manner as well. All right, as you know, Team JA has grown and is keeping that track that upward track so that we can serve a greater number of students in North Louisiana. So please take a minute to recognize our team as they stand. Carrie Haugen, JA Director of Education, Elizabeth Miller, Community Engagement, Sergeant First Class Retired, Charles Sampson, JA Liaison for Central and Rural Louisiana Parishes, and Dr. Ron Morris, recently retired Caddo Parish Principal and is now a JA Development Associate. Thank y'all. And now moving into a very, very special part of the night, I would like to recognize the contributions of our JA's volunteer through the community, especially the airmen at Barksdale Air Force Base. Last year, they, along with our other volunteers, committed 60,552, but who's counting? Me. Instructional contact hours in the classroom and served 11,478 students. And that was in North Louisiana, and that was a 20.9%, we'll just call it 21% increase over last year. So thank you, volunteers, for that. Many of you all are here tonight as well. Thank y'all. I also tonight want to thank the 29 laureates who came back to join us tonight. Your spouses, even a grandson is here to represent his grandfather, which we just really, really enjoy, having the younger generation come around and get to hear what junior achievement is all about. Their support is vital to sustaining the important mission of junior achievement. So now I'm going to call the JA laureates that are here with us tonight, and if you all would please stand and remain standing so that the whole group can give you applause at the end. Representing Virginia K. Sheehy is her son from 1995, Andy Sheehy. Donald E. Jones, 2001. Ollie S. Tyler, 2006. Please stand and remain standing. Cody C. White, Jr., 2006. W. Clinton Bubba Raspberry, Jr., 2007. Thomas J. Williams, 2008. Okay, now I'm going to call Tommy's name again because I skipped over him last year. Thomas J. Williams, 2008. We even? Yeah, we're even. Okay. George P. Fritzy, 2009. And his wife, Minu, is the daughter of John Doles, and she could not be here tonight. Charles E. Meehan, 2009. Harry E. McInnes, Jr., 2010. And he was coming, but his son is here tonight, but he was unable at the last minute to come. But he's so involved still, and we just really appreciate that. Dr. Philip A. Roseman, 2011. And representing H.E. Bud Storr, 2011, is his grandson, Aaron Storr. Linda Bernacki, 2013. Representing Lacey, Dr. Lacey H. Williams, 2013, is his wife, Edie Williams, and his daughter, Claire, is here with us tonight. Laura P. Crawford, 2015. John Q. Peterson, 2016. B. Wayne Brown, 2017. Sarah D. Collier, 2017. Keith J. Evans, 2019. And representing Merritt B. Chastain, Jr., whom we recently lost, our 2021 laureate, his wife, Virginia Chastain. Dr. John George, Jr., 2021. Stephen F. Scrivanos, 2021. Robert G. Pugh, 2022. John E. Atkins, 2023. Christopher M. Kenzie, 2023. Glenn Victor Kenzie, 2023. Dr. Jerome Cox, 2024. Greg Lott, 2024. And Jerry Montgomery, 2024. I haven't missed anybody, have I? You stand up and wave your hand, I'll call your name. Lennis Elston had to go to Centenary because there's so many competing events tonight, but she was here earlier, and she also wishes you all just a warm welcome to the JA Laureate family on your induction evening. So thank you so much. Right, so the JA Free Enterprise Society, you may have noticed that there is several guests tonight wearing the special name badge. These are members of JA USA's Free Enterprise Society, a national organization that supports junior achievement annually at a nice high level. It is my pleasure to publicly thank the members of JA-NLA Free Enterprise Society who are listed in the program tonight, and to announce the members who have joined or renewed their commitment to this important group of business leaders in the Business Hall of Fame. At the entrepreneur level, those who've contributed $15,000 or greater within a year's period of a personal donation is Linda M. Bernanke, 2013 JA Laureate. Please stand. John E. Atkins, 2023 JA Laureate. 2025 JA Laureate, C. DeWitt Carruthers. Thank y'all so much. And our president's level, for contributions of $25,000 or greater within the year, and they're not here tonight, but the Alta and John Franks Foundation has been contributing to JA since 1994, when the late John Franks helped start junior achievement. And each year, Faith and I visit, and we talk about JA, and they continue to support junior achievement. And we're just very grateful, honored, and proud to be deserving of that continued gift from Alta and John Franks Foundation. Also joining that group is Ross P. Barrett, 2025 JA Laureate, and G. Carlton Golden Jr., 2025 Laureate. Thank you all so much. Okay. A legacy member is a true champion in assuring the junior achievement has the resources and visibility to continue to grow our services to young people. In recognition of their extraordinary commitment to the students we serve, I'd like you to join me in celebrating the cumulative support of our most loyal supporters, those who recognize and invest in the significant impact of JA programs and its underlying goal to address poverty in our community. Most JA areas have large corporate donor base that make up its greatest percentage. You know, and I go to the President's Roundtable most years, and we all meet. There's 99 of us, at least 89 of us are there, and they're all talking about their big corporations. They don't have the private support that JA right here in Shreveport, Louisiana has. And we're very proud to be able to say that individual donors in Shreveport is bigger than most individual donors of all those other 99 JA areas. So you can pat yourselves on the back for that. We could not do it without you. So thank you for prioritizing JA in your community. I know that we give to a lot in our community, and I invite you to review the list of these JA champions that's on page 5 in your program. And now I would like to invite, yes, thank you, that's worth a hand, isn't it? And now we are on time, a little early, yay. I'd like to invite Denny Moten, Chairman of the Board, to the podium. Thank you, Denny.
Evening, everyone. My name is Denny Moten. I have the honor of serving as Chairman of the Board for Junior Achievement of North Louisiana. And on behalf of our Board of Directors, I want to warmly welcome you to tonight's JA Business Hall of Fame celebration. Tonight, we recognize and celebrate 3 exceptional individuals, Ross Barrett, Whit Carruthers, and Carlton Golden, who are being inducted into the JA Laureate Business Hall of Fame. These gentlemen have made a remarkable impact on our community, and their leadership continues to inspire the next generation. Each of them was once taught, mentored, and encouraged by leaders who came before them, and they carry the torch forward, setting an example for others to follow. And we're deeply grateful for the positive representation that they bring to junior achievement. Junior achievement plays a vital role in shaping the future of young people. by equipping them with the critical skills of financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship. Delivered by dedicated volunteers and educators, JA programs reach millions of students across the country, empowering them to dream big and to prepare for their futures. One of my early memories as a student was when junior achievement came to my elementary school. A man who was not our teacher came to our class and he talked to us about real life business concepts. That day we learned about the efficiencies of the assembly line production system by assembling ballpoint pens. This was a very simple lesson, but it left a very lasting impact. And that single JA class stood out so vividly to me that I remember it all these years later. And as an adult, I realized how powerful that experience was for me and how meaningfully it could be if I could create that same experience for students today by just giving a little of my own time. So over the years, I've volunteered in many classrooms, and I've seen firsthand the impact that JA can have, not only on the students they're serving, but the volunteers themselves. I recently attended an awards ceremony at Barksdale Air Force Base, where we honored airmen who were serving in our junior achievement classrooms. Colonel Jessica Critcher led the ceremony, and she spoke about service above self. And she reminded her young airmen that you don't always see the impact you have on those students immediately. We're sowing seeds that take years to grow. Imagine the impression that a uniformed airman makes in an elementary school classroom, especially in some of our classrooms in low to moderate income areas where some of these children don't have exposure much farther outside of their neighborhood. For many of these students, this may be the first time they've ever seen a real live serviceman. Their presence sends a powerful message. You matter, I see you. And we're so very proud of our growing partnership with our friends out at Barksdale. And together, all of us, through junior achievement, are helping break that generational cycle of poverty. And we're planting the seeds of the entrepreneurial spirit. And we're creating leaders and job creators of tomorrow. So your presence and contributions tonight will help fund about 1/3 of the cost to provide the JA programs to our local K through 12 students. That's a powerful investment in our community. So once again, I want to congratulate our laureate inductees, Ross, Witt, and Carlton. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and for supporting the mission of junior achievement. And now I'd like to invite our MC for tonight's program, Ed Walsh. Ed is a public relations manager at Romp and Pugh Agency, and we appreciate Ed returning to do the program.
Denny, thank you so much for that introduction. I know my boss, Robert Pugh, really likes it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be back here again this evening. I think this is probably, Nita, my 5th, 6th year doing it. It's always a lot of fun to see the commitment made to the community. Because of your support, whether by attending tonight's induction ceremony, volunteering your time, or pledging financial resources, you are making a difference in our classrooms. Many of you have watched the students taught by JA mentors grow with the knowledge JA lessons present. As mentors talk about money management, preparing for the workplace, and how to start your own business, students begin to engage in conversations about their education, many of whom are talking about their future for the very first time. It is truly a gift for these students to have your support. Thank you for being part of such an incredible program. Before we introduce the 2025 JA laureates, we'd like you to enjoy 2 short presentations. First, let me introduce JROTC Director of Army Instruction for Caddo Parish Schools, Lieutenant Colonel Byron Layfield, who plays an important role in developing a robust statewide JA-JROTC partnership for cadets, JA elementary students, and our community. Colonel Layfield.
Good evening. As he just said, I'm Colonel Layfield. I'm the Director of Junior ROTC for Caddo Parish. Miss Nina, this year you just gave me 2 minutes, not 3. All right? I didn't make it last year, but I'm gonna be close tonight, okay? So the relationship between junior achievement, Caddo JROTC, and Barksdale Air Force Base is rapidly maturing this year with the concept, as we said earlier, of airmen training our cadets through the High School Heroes program, and then our cadets turn around and teaching JA financial literacy curriculum to our elementary students. Barksdale also supports us, Caddo JROTC, through a Junior Achievement sponsored base tour, where we had over 120 cadets participate in 5 different stations that included EOD, the security police, heavy equipment, fire and rescue, and of course, the B-52. All right, that's great. It's a great day for our cadets as they show the awesome capabilities of the mighty 8th Air Force, and thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Additionally, our relationship has grown with the Purple Star program, which is something outside of JA, but I got to mention it because my boss is in the back, Mr. Burton. And also the Honorary Commander program that Barksdale puts on, which he is the honorary commander of 2nd Maintenance Squadron. In the educator world, it's about the essential question, which the question, I proposed is why JA? And in the military, it's about the mission, which for JROTC, the mission is motivate young people to be better citizens. So why Junior Achievement? Because it completes my mission, okay? And it is a win-win for all parties as we support our community through meaningful service. So as the director of Junior ROTC for Caddo Parish, I look forward to the growing relationship that's been established between JA, Barksdale Air Force Base, Junior ROTC, and to support my #1 customer. At least that's what Mr. Burton tells me, and that's the students of Caddo Parish, and I know that. And that's what we do. So speaking of students, it is my honor to introduce the cadet guest speaker. Caleb Simmons is the cadet battalion commander from Captain Shreve Junior ROTC and has participated with JA for the last few years, teaching financial curriculum to Riverside Elementary. So he knows the JA business, and he is a phenomenal cadet with a bright future, planning to enlist in the United States Air Force. Also, he was promoted, we're working on him, but I think he wants to be an airman. That's great. Also, he was just promoted Tuesday at the school board meeting by our superintendent to cadet colonel. So he's actually also the 4th Brigade Commander for Caddo Parish JROTC. Please welcome Cadet Colonel Caleb Simmons. All right, good luck.
Good evening, everyone. As Colonel Layfield said, I am Cadet Colonel Caleb Simmons. I serve as the battalion commander at the Captain Shreve Gator Battalion. I am also the 4th Brigade Commander of Caddo Parish. When I first thought about the Junior Achievement Program, I learned a way to connect my high school experience to the real world. I expected a few tips, but I got a complete change about the world. My most important lesson came from the JA Finance Park simulation. I was given a profile, a job, a salary, and a huge stack of bills. Suddenly, financial literacy wasn't just a chapter in the textbook. It was a high-stakes problem. Trying to fit a mortgage, utilities, and healthcare into a fixed budget was a problem. This is a brutal wake-up call. I quickly realized that a good paycheck alone doesn't guarantee financial stability. It's about planning. Only smart, disciplined planning works. This experience did not just teach me about a budget, but it gave me the confidence to have control about my future and not anxiety. The best part of my JA experience was sharing the knowledge with the 2nd graders. As a volunteer, I got the privilege of going to a local elementary school and spreading my knowledge with elementary kids. Walking into that classroom was exciting. Imagine trying to explain entrepreneur to a class of 2nd grade students. You can only imagine how that goes. We use fun, hands-on activities to show them different jobs, to create how the community works together to create a smooth flow. The 2nd graders were brilliant. They didn't just focus on details like taxes. They saw the fire department and the library that taxes pay for. They didn't see the financial risk. They saw the excitement starting a lemonade stand. Seeing their pure enthusiasm as they connected these lessons to the real world felt like passing on a vital secret. My personal experience with JA gave me the tools to build my own future. My time with the 2nd graders gave me the passion to ensure their future is even brighter. Junior achievement is more than a program. It's a powerful cycle. We learn to succeed, and then we turn around and pass it on to the next generation of kids. This will set the future of the United States for a better place and a better country. Thank you.
Caleb, thank you very much. Colonel Layfield, thank you as well. Caleb, best of luck in your future endeavors, exploring new ways to put your leadership skills to the test and to work. We're so proud to have you representing junior achievement tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is a JA Laureates Banquet without Greg Prosell? Yeah, is he here in the audience somewhere? Oh yeah, here he is coming up the side. It's time for him to make a big sell.
Okay. One of the good things about being an ex-chairman is I get to do this. I get to ask for money. Nita has said that
All right, Greg, thank you so much. Actually thought the gym has been replaced by Ozempic and Mounjaro. Who works out anymore? Well, it is no surprise to many of you that JA's secret sauce is its mentors. Greg was one of the JA mentors who works with students during the JA Breeze Dream Foundation Trust Your Crazy Ideas Challenge, a classroom volunteer and a very active board member. Thank you, Manpower, for supporting Greg in his efforts to teach young people in our community very important skills that lead to upward economic mobility. We thank each of you who have already invested in JA students tonight by purchasing a ticket, a table, an honorarium, or memorial in support of tonight's efforts to provide free programs in financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. Now, it's time for our special program this evening, and the reason why you got all dressed up and came out tonight. We're honoring three very special leaders, champions of our community, role models for future generations. These individuals we're about to recognize personify what junior achievement strives to be, to teach and instill in the students of North Louisiana. Before we begin with the honors, though, it is our tradition that we take a moment to pause to remember our JA laureates who passed since our last gathering a year ago. Tonight, we remember Dr. Lacey H. Williams, 2023 JA laureate. He was a giant in our community, had a heart of gold, and is truly missed. Lacey was loved by his community and was a great supporter of junior achievement, as well as many other organizations. Dr. Williams and his wife, Edie, worked to improve our community. Edie and their daughter, Claire, have joined us tonight to celebrate Dr. Williams' incredible legacy.
Edie and I went to Baltimore in the public health service during the Vietnam War.
Lacey and I have always known each other. We were in high school together and grew up together in Longview. And we started dating when I was a junior in high school, and he had just graduated from high school and was at the University of Texas. I'm not sure we were in love at that early age, but it wasn't long after that we were.
I was 21 and she was 20, so and then we've been together ever since. It's been a wonderful journey. I joined a really fine radiology group, and Shumpert was a wonderful hospital for many years, and the premier hospital in Louisiana.
I was very impressed with both of them, a young couple, young family, just getting started in his professional career, and he just had the attitude that you like to see in a young physician who is getting started.
Our family was always active in the oil and gas business, and so it was natural for me to do, as they say in the oil business, deals, and I participated in many wells.
Lacey is very smart. He's very bright, and he just has a knack for business. He likes deals and likes to try to make money, the American way,
Number one, he's smart as a whip. He is driven, he's strong, and anything that he commits to, whether it's the community, whether it's his own business, whatever, it's going to be successful.
He basically has a photographic memory, and he just loves to read. He reads 9 papers a day, and reads all the time. He loves investing, loves deals, and that's just really his forte.
He's very generous, and he likes being involved. So, which is good. So we just need more people like him.
He has a heart of gold. Lacey Williams has a heart of gold, and he is constantly doing something for the community.
Mrs. Williams, Claire, would you please stand and accept a round of applause as gratitude for everything your husband and father did for junior achievement. It is now time to introduce the 2025 JA laureates. Tonight, I'm honored to announce the names of 3 outstanding individuals who will now join this elite group of business leaders and community advocates. We ask that you please stand when your name is called and remain standing until all laureates have been recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2025 Junior Achievement laureates are C. DeWitt Carruthers, Ross P. Barrett, and G. Carlton Golden Jr. Let's give the three of them a round of applause as a group. Presenting the 2025 Junior Achievement of North Louisiana Business Hall of Fame Awards are Chairman of the JA Board of Directors, Denny Moten, and John E. Atkins, 2023 JA Laureate and Honorary Chair. Our first Junior Achievement Laureate is Mr. C. DeWitt Carruthers. Witt is the owner of Carruthers Producing Company, Incorporated, and is here tonight with his wife, Nani, his two daughters, and his son, family, and friends. Would you please turn your attention to the screens?
It was wonderful growing up with Whit as my dad. I would say what really stands out to me is a love for the outdoors that he had and how much he shared that with us as kids.
He was the prototypical kind of all-American dad. What was so remarkable about my dad, I thought, I'm sure his business colleagues will speak to his commercial success and financial acumen, but what I recall is him always just being present, whether it was a school play or a baseball game, or whether it was me wanting to field ground balls, in the front yard. He was always there and around. Yeah, I think he was always encouraging us children to ignore external yardsticks, to ignore our peers' accomplishments, and truly focus on doing our best and measuring success by our own standards.
And us to be challenged in those areas and improve in those areas so that we were prepared to do our best.
My dad encouraged me to push myself, get out of my comfort zone. Those challenges are what made me realize that I can push myself, I can make it to the other side, I can grow by putting myself through hard experiences.
And now as a new dad and an entrepreneur myself, that's all the more remarkable. I find it incredible how he was able to balance so much growing up. It's only really just now dawning on me. I'm glad I get this opportunity to kind of tell him how special that all really was.
And by including us in his work, he really showed how hard he was working for the family. He wasn't heavy-handed about it in any way. We were just having fun spending time with him.
I think family's a huge priority in Whit's life. I mean, I would assume if you look at his calendar of travel, you can see that because he's chasing grandkids around from coast to coast.
When I think about in what ways I would love to be like my dad, the first thing that comes to mind is his dedicated and disciplined study of the Bible. And he really modeled putting study of the Word first, and with that, other priorities tend to fall into their rightful places.
He was always open to communicate, talk about whatever, and share experiences. And I learned a lot through that. But I'd really say he more became a mentor when we started this Bible study, because, it showed us a lot about how to live our lives and how to help out others.
Because of Whit's faith, the business side of his life is not 100% of who he is. It's a component of who he is. And he helped me structure my life the same way.
My faith is extremely important to me, and I enjoy the opportunity to share it. I also believe that if I behave in a way that doesn't comport with my faith, then it really doesn't matter what I have to say.
One of the traits that Whit has that's impressive is that he is willing to listen to others.
He has an incredible sense for what's right and wrong. Even when doing I've seen my dad multiple times, right? Do the right thing, even when doing the right thing wasn't easy.
An ethical man, and he should be complimented for that.
A highly intelligent person, and the experience and the knowledge, for me it's something I enjoy.
Me and Whit have always been good friends, and I thought, is that a good thing or a bad thing in business? It ended up being an outstanding thing through the years. I have the hindsight of history because I've been doing this for 40 years. The people that are still here are the people that did business the right way, ethically and honestly. And WIT has done every project I've ever been involved in, probably 50 plus over the years, with that in mind, that how we got there is as important as where we got.
He's interested. He listens to what you have to say and then really wants to kind of dive in and has, experience and opinions based on that are really helpful and insightful.
And by being that way and being open to others and other points of view and other perspectives, he comes to really good decision. He's a good decision maker.
So when I was little growing up here in Shreveport, my dad and some other members of the community had the vision of expanding Cyport into the amazing interactive science experience that it is today.
With young children, we saw the need, not just for our own children to have exposure to a wide variety of educational experiences, but the need for the children of this community who didn't have the material resources that we were blessed with to have that. And that's what led to my involvement in Cyport.
I just, at the time, was amazed at all of his hard work and also got to see it come to fruition. And now I'm taking my own kids to enjoy the amazing thing that Cyport is today.
He has a natural teacher ability, and he enjoys that, and it makes him a very good fit to be a role model.
Programs like Junior Achievement are very important in our community in order to make sure that everyone has opportunity for education.
So I think it's important to go into the classroom early on to teach the basics of financial responsibility. Too many people get credit cards before they understand what credit is, and it's important early on. Many young people have the ideas that are going to shape the future. They need to be shown avenues of how to realize those dreams, to create businesses around them, to protect themselves, so that they enjoy the fruits of their ideas and their labors.
So I definitely think junior achievement is a good thing for all kids to go through. When it came to my school, it was more financial literacy learning and not just adding and subtracting or English. It was stuff that, at least while you're in school, feels really practical, because not everything in school always feels like this is what something I'm going to do when I get older. But no matter who you are, financial literacy is important.
I think it's so important to have junior achievement because it's a gift both to the individuals that it's serving, so the individual youth that it's helping. It's setting them up for success starting early. And I think it's also a gift for the whole community, because that certainly lifts up an entire community. So it's both like an individual and community gift.
And I think about WIT and why he was selected and is honored. It's because of his ethics, his commitment to this community. I feel blessed and honored to be Whit Carruthers' friend.
Congratulations, Whit. You've been an amazing role model and mentor to me, and you absolutely deserve this award.
Whit, congratulations on this honor. It is well deserved. Congratulations and best wishes in the future.
Congratulations, well-deserved honor. It's been a wonderful friendship. I'm proud of the times we had. Look forward to many more ahead. And once again, congratulations.
Congratulations, Daddy. I'm proud to be your daughter. I'm so glad that I can be part of this celebration of you, and I love you so much.
Congratulations, Daddy. I'm so proud of you.
We're all so proud of you. Couldn't think of a more deserving individual for this award. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. C. DeWitt Carruthers.
Wow. The scene that keeps flashing through my mind is from Tom Sawyer when he climbs up in the church attic and watches his own funeral. I don't know. My profound thanks to Junior Achievement for this recognition, and congrats to Ross and Carlton. I'm honored to share this night with you. And thanks to my family for all the love and support along the way. Those of you who know Noni will agree that to the extent I've had any positive impact, it's probably best viewed as a subset of her work here on earth. And as for you children, as the psalmist wrote, like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in your youth. What a blessing it's been to be your father, especially now that I see you raising your own families. And to the rest of my family and friends, thank you for the support, the patience, the tolerance, and when necessary, the iron sharpening iron that you've provided. I'd like to go on with specifics, but tonight's a night to celebrate junior achievement, and Nita suggested that we tailor remarks for any students who might be here and for younger folks. And so I've come up with 5 points that I'd like to share that are really geared toward them. And those 5 points, I guess that shows Pat Day's influence on me, but I couldn't come up with an acrostic. But curiously, since learning of this honor a couple of months ago, I found myself remembering my failures as much as my successes, recalling the deals that didn't turn out, including a disaster or two. So that's point one. You're going to make mistakes, plenty of them. But as a digital billboard near my house blazed a couple of months ago, a setback is not a failure unless you don't learn anything from it. And Attorney Jacqueline Scott, if you're here tonight, I love your billboard philosophizing. I also found myself remembering a lot of the people who helped me, many no longer with us, including my father, many whose portraits are downstairs. Every one of them and everyone in this room has been boosted along the way. As their support for junior achievement shows, they're ready here to help you too. If you do well, we all do well. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Be deliberate about selecting people to emulate. When you find someone with a particular gift, sales, strategic planning, people skills, study them, talk to them. Ask them how they handle different situations. Where appropriate, mimic their best practices, especially in areas where you may be weaker. So point two, ask for help. Now there is a flip side to all the people who want to help you. Unfortunately, you will run across a few who are up to no good. And as my old friend Jay Greenleaf told me once, you can't do a good deal with bad people, and you can't do a bad deal with good people. Now that saying's not original to Jay, but I attribute it to him because he quoted it to me when I was in the midst of a disaster, a real point one learning experience. And Jay, good friend that he was subtly, or not so subtly, reminded me that my mistake wasn't that the project had failed, because plenty do through nobody's fault. No, he was pointing out that my mistake was getting in bed with somebody who didn't share my values. Now, by contrast, when good people of like values work together, the burdens of loss and the benefits of success are shared fairly, sometimes without regard for what the original contract says. So that's point three. Pick good partners and be good partner. Let's fast forward a few years for you young entrepreneurs. Your venture is thriving, you've honed your business skills, you've got great partners, you're making money. That's what it's all about, right? Or is it? About 30 years ago, I saw a study that asked people, how much more money do you need to be satisfied? The most common answer was about 10% more. Didn't matter how much the respondent had, whether they were a millionaire or an hourly wage earner. Most wanted just 10% more. And don't we all just want a little bit more? What struck me about the study is that my faith teaches 10% is the minimum amount we ought to give back to help others. In other words, my faith teaches learn to do with a little bit less. So that's point four. If you really want to enjoy the fruits of your labor in your life, learn to do with a little bit less. Now, developing your gift of giving isn't the end of the story, but it's a good start. And it leads to my fifth point. Reflect often on why you are here on this planet alive. There is a reason, and I know Junior Achievement will forgive me for saying it, but it's not about the money. Plenty of folks here would be more than happy to help you with that question also. And as that great theologian Ferris Bueller warned, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you just might miss it. So best of luck in your endeavors. I hope you make as much as you can and that you give as much as you can. Our community and you will be all the richer for it. Thanks again to Junior Achievement for this honor, and good night and God bless.
Congratulations, Whit, and thank you for your commitment to Junior Achievement as a volunteer, as a cheerleader in advancing our mission, and for the many hours you spend mentoring the future leaders of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, our next laureate is a man who has his hands in more projects than you can count, Mr. Ross Barrett. Ross is joined tonight by his wife, Allison, his 4 daughters, family members, colleagues, and friends. If you'd please turn your attention to the screens.
My mom and dad raised us here, actually, in this house. I live in the house that I grew up in, which is neat. Dad's a doctor, mom's a school teacher, and so my first job out of college was working on Capitol Hill for J. Bennett Johnston, which really had a dramatic effect on the rest of my life.
Ross and I met in junior high, and we remained friends for the next 9 years, and then we got married. Life just seemed to take us in the same directions. We ended up at the same high school, and we ended up at the same college, and then we both ended up in Washington, D.C. post-college, and it was there that we started dating and got married after he finished law school.
I grew up in this house ever since I was little. My dad has been the guiding force of our family. He was always there. Anything we had, whether it was soccer practice or a Broadway musical play, he was there showing up.
One of my favorite things about Ross is what a phenomenal father and leader he is to our family.
Growing up, my dad really just did everything he could to please us. There's 4 girls. I'm number 3. And he was always just the best father figure. He did everything possible to make us smile.
He makes a very big point to tell us we know we're the best thing in his life, and we know how loved we are. This makes me cry, but he makes everyone around him want to be better. He genuinely does, and he expects a lot of people, but he also will walk with you through that process. But he's also an extremely faithful person.
Ever since I was a kid, he's really instilled in me the saying, prior preparation prevents poor performance. He says that almost every day.
My dad's middle name is Pryor, and my whole life he's always said prior preparation prevents poor performance.
And it really has reminded me to just work hard, to do my best at everything I possibly can, and he really does lead by example. That's the saying that he lives by, and it's one that I have lived by.
My first time kind of understanding his involvement in the community was when he got involved with the Committee of 100, and I saw all the wonderful things that he was able to do with the Committee of 100, and then more recently helping out with Centenary College, which I think is incredible just because Shreveport is such a special place to him and our family. And I think it's another thing that he taught us growing up was it's important to give back to the place that's given you so much.
Ross was one of the first people that I met when I started the interviewing process for the head coaching position at Centenary. He was an intricate part of bringing the program back and really laying the foundation of unifying our city and helping the college through the great game of football.
Ross served in every leadership capacity you can think of in our church, especially in the fundraising area. Whenever we began our building programs, he was one of the leaders in helping us to raise the funds that made those buildings that we have now a reality. He also was someone that was a part of the strategic planning of the church over the years. He was one of those voices that when he spoke, I always listened because Ross saw things that I didn't see. He was one of those young men that I could turn to and say, what do you think about this? Knowing that I wouldn't get an answer I wanted to hear, but what he really thought the congregation needed to hear.
He's a hard worker. He is a servant leader. He's always, again, giving back to his family, giving back to his community in any way he can. He's giving 110%.
He is leading by example, and he is leading in his best way to lead how Christ would lead. And I think that is the reason he is such a wonderful role model and such a huge role model in my life. Is I hope that one day I can be half the person that he is.
Years ago when he first came, he taught a children's Sunday school, or young people's Sunday school class, and my son was in the class. And he came home one Sunday and said, Dad, I really like Mr. Ross. He is a fantastic teacher. In fact, he is so smart. I said, you mean he's smarter than me? Dad, there's no comparison. He's so much smarter than you, it's pitiful. Kind of hurt my feelings, but it's true.
He's a world changer. He's someone who dreams big, think big, and go for it.
I always marvel how he has the time to invest in so many projects and so many people.
And he's a very resourceful person, I would say. And you can just see it. You can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. But, I would tell you that, what always shines and comes through is his heart for the people, and especially the children. He loves the mentorships. He'll come talk to my team and help them with life skills. And he's a W guy, whatever, whenever. Whatever you need, whenever.
One of the things he tells our children is, you're blessed to be a blessing, and always remember that. And so he feels like in his life that he's been very fortunate and poured into. And so I think that that's where part of his commitment to others comes from.
It's important because we're never guaranteed tomorrow. People assume that things will always be the same, and that's not true. And so, when I leave this world, if, I've created value, equity value, and created wealth while leaving a lasting impact on people, I will have done my job.
Ross loves junior achievement, always has. I think junior achievement is incredibly important to our community. I think having people like my dad and other members of the community helping give back to younger children in the community is incredibly important.
So I've actually been a judge for the Crazy Ideas Entrepreneurship Program, and my friend Trey Smith and I actually taught junior achievement to 7th graders one year. It's really important to instill free enterprise into people. My friend John Beard always says, no margin, no mission. And so the free enterprise system allows you to create wealth, and then in a giving community like ours, to take those profits and then give to those who might not have as much as you.
Well, the children are our future. If we don't invest in them, how can we have a bright future?
My dad is such a good example of pouring back into the communities, pouring back into places that have helped you so much and helped you grow so much. And that is what I am trying to do in my life today.
His leadership has been one of the greatest blessings to First Methodist Shreveport that I know of.
But I have known him for 40 years, and he's the same person in all those years. So he's the greatest decision in my life, for sure.
I'd like to thank my family, and I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Allison. I couldn't do it without her. 26 great years married, and she's been with me through the thick and the thin of it, and always there to support. So I love you.
I'd like to close by congratulating Ross for being a 2025 Junior Achievement Laureate.
Ross, congratulations. You really, really deserve this award. You've worked so hard, you've committed yourself, and we know that every dream needs a team, and you are the MVP of the dream team for so many people. Thank you for what you do, and may God bless you and keep you.
Congratulations, Dad. You are the most deserving man of this award. I'm so incredibly proud of you, and I'm even more proud to be your daughter. I love you.
Dad, I'm so proud of you. You deserve this more than anyone. Congratulations. I love you.
I love you. I could not be more proud of you. I am blessed every single day to get to walk through this life with you. You're the very best decision that I have ever made in my life. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Ross Barrett.
Yeah, I second you, Whit. Wow. And I'm not the most deserving person here. Carlton Whit, to be honored with y'all is something super special, and I appreciate JA for recognizing me. So I really am deeply humbled to stand before you as a JA laureate. Joining this group is very humbling to me, and I want to thank Nita, the board, the search committee for this recognition, and as I mentioned before, my beautiful wife Allison, who makes me better every day. So I'm going to keep the remarks concise tonight, but hopefully they're impactful and talk about work and capitalism in our free enterprise system. And you know, the free enterprise system is rooted in individual liberty and limited government. It's the bedrock of our economic growth. It's the opposite of chaos because it creates good-paying jobs, and it gives hope for a community. Yet today, our economic foundations are challenged. We have high inflation, out-of-control government debt, the erosion of the family unit, and that all has shrunk the middle class. That's not a good thing. But in turn, these pressures fuel skepticism about what JA teaches. So tonight, I'm going to explore very briefly the concept of free enterprise from three different perspectives: a preacher, an academic, and an entrepreneur. So first, the preacher. Tim Keller, in his book, Every Good Endeavor, wrote that work is not just a means to an end, but it is a divine calling, one that is essential to human flourishing and a means to please God. It's a great book. But this frames work as a service to others, not as something that you have to do to go make money. You know, our nation, I believe, once operated, Coach, thank you for the MVP call out, and you'll appreciate this. Our nation operated between the 40-yard lines. You might differ a little bit over here, you might differ a little bit over there, but you're really only 20 yards apart. Now it seems like we're at the extreme, and that is not a good thing, but I would submit to everyone in here, communities like North Louisiana and the Arklatex, we can be that beacon of balance. In our community, we have differing denominations and different faiths, but we typically unite around shared values of hard work, of faith, of delayed gratification. And yes, we can do better, but we generally love our neighbors, regardless of socioeconomic status or race. We build bridges where other people try to seek divides. Just look at what First Methodist does at Allendale and Lakeside to see such progress in bridge building. So second, what about the academic's perspective of free enterprise? So William F. Buckley is one of my favorite writers. In 1986, he wrote a paper and published it. And he praised capitalism's greatest achievement, that it had material prosperity without historical precedent. He went back to the biblical times, and capitalism had created more prosperity. And so this paper, this concept, had a huge impact. In fact, the Chinese premier sent his PhD students to the University of Chicago to learn Austrian economics. And since that time, that 1986, 500 million people, 500 million, more than that's all in the United States, have been taken out of poverty in China. And their poverty rate used to be 88%, now it's under 2%. So you contrast that with someone like Venezuela, and even New York City right now, that demonizes job creators and the wealthy, which actually ends up hurting those that need it the most. But Bill Buckley also warned, as only he could, the trouble with capitalism is the capitalist. And he believed that the system's strengths but he criticized those whose greed or indifference tainted its reputation, and he encouraged everybody to give back. And so there are two entrepreneurs that I want to talk about that have given back. One is well known, John D. Rockefeller. One less well known, but I encourage you to look him up, Bill Daniels. Bill Daniels was raised in Omaha, Nebraska, moved around with his family in the Midwest, but was a early mover in the cable television field, close to a billionaire. And he called the free enterprise system the eighth wonder of the world. But he said the ninth wonder is why so few people understand it. This misconception, is fueled by sound bites and social media, but Daniel's insight really underscores the critical need for education, and that's where JA comes in. Programs like JA Finance, which, as I mentioned, Trey Smith and I taught to 7th graders, equip students with financial literacy, entrepreneur teaching skills, and also the perils of government overspending. It even gives them to look at new financial innovations like Bitcoin. JA teaches youth to love America, and as we saw with Caleb today, his true love for our country, not to despise it. This is all happening in Shreveport in the Arklatex, and I think that's a good thing. Another entrepreneur, John D. Rockefeller, said, with every right comes a responsibility. With every opportunity comes an obligation, and with every possession comes a duty. And those words echo Micah 6:8. The Lord has told you what to do, what is required of you, to do justice, love, mercy, and walk humbly. So think of those words that John D. Rockefeller said: responsibility, obligation, duty, and then the scripture, justice, mercy, and humility. So our responsibility is to do justice. It starts with education. Early education. Jeff Howell, my friend from Sunday school, is teaching JA to kindergartners at Cherokee Elementary next month. Let's get involved like Jeff. Our obligation is to love mercy, to support programs like Volunteers of America, their Justice and Reentry Initiative. It serves 70,000 people in 2023. 99% of the local residents with mental illness and VOAs, behavioral health program, stayed out of the hospital. And Carolyn Hammond told me today that 100% of the youth in DeSoto Parish are avoiding expulsion from school. So we got to get involved. And finally, our duty is to walk humbly, giving time and resources without seeking social media applause. Enough of the social media brain rot. Instead, don't let the right hand know what the left is doing. Let's get involved. Let's mentor the youth through JA. Let's volunteer quietly, and let's build a better community together. I don't think the answers are going to come from Washington, D.C. or New York or San Francisco. I think the answers should come from communities like ours. Those of us right here in this room in communities that still operate between the 40-yard line and that believe in the common good. Let's continue to champion this cause together. And thank you and congratulations to all who make Junior Achievement's impact possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Mr. Ross Barrett. Congratulations, Ross, on your lifetime of achievements and especially for modeling the pillars of JA. All right, our last JA laureate of the evening, Carlton Golden. He is our final 2025 JA laureate. Mr. Golden and his wife, Rachel, their two sons and their wives are all with us this evening, surrounded by dear friends and family. If you would pay attention to the screens.
My name is Trey Golden, and I'm Carlton Golden's best and firstborn son. I'm Levi Golden. I am the better brother, to play off my brother. I'm the second child of Carlton Golden. Some of my kind of greatest memories growing up, especially coming from the builder side, and then also with my dad was going out to job sites sometime when he had us, me and Levi, going out to job sites in the middle of the night and riding back and forth with a mixer driver. We started working here at 15 years old. That was because my dad taught us, he didn't want things to be just given to us, that we actually had to work for what we wanted. And so I wanted to purchase a vehicle. My grandfather started in the summers working so he could save up money for a car. We've all kind of followed the same thing, but it's been a place I've wanted to work my whole life.
Was learning how to be conservative, fiscally conservative, and save your money, and working to buy a car and showing that you could do those things.
And my father wanted us to work in each division, so dispatch, to be in quality control.
My first jobs were sweeping the warehouses and resacking busted sacks of cement and mason mix, and also cutting expansion joint.
So the skills that I learned here at Builder Supply and under the leadership of my father, that translates to every job. And I noticed that when I transferred from working a career job at Builder Supply to now a more ministered job at our church.
I first met Carlton when I was fresh out of college and started my career at Merrill Lynch. Had a mentor at the time that told me I needed to know Carlton Golden. One thing I can notice about Carlton was he's very passionate. He's very passionate about his business and his community organizations that he's involved in.
We've done business with Builder Supply for about 65 years of their 112 or so that the company's been in existence. Knew Grady as a person of integrity. He honored what he said. He was good to do business with, and he put the customers first. And I saw that in Carlton as Carlton grew up and developed. And I always used to say, well, Carlton's just a cut of Grady.
He is that rock that people depend on, and he's just the kind of person that someone could strive to be like, and they would turn out and have a much better life if they were more like Carlton. Carlton is a role model, in my view, for being a father and a husband and a family person.
My father's very, very, very busy, but at home, it never felt like he was too busy for us.
Business is great and all, but the most important things in life is your family and faith.
When it gets right down to it, the only thing we're trying to do is provide for our family. And so the time, the dollars, the things that you need to provide for your family, you have to find a way to balance it. And I think most successful people are good at that.
His example is really incredible, and his work ethic and the way he treats people.
Treat people how you want to be treated. Obviously, the golden rule, right? Follow the golden rule.
One early value in a Builder Supply Company that we've had since 1913, the value is you treat people the way you want to be treated. And by doing that, you get the most out of yourself and others.
There was a coworker that was with me, and I introduced the coworker to someone else, a friend of mine, and I said, this coworker works for my dad, and it's a pleasure that we get to work together. Well, my dad overheard that conversation and pulled me into this office that we're sitting in, and he said, son, don't ever let me hear you say that someone works for me. They don't work for me, they work with me. We're coworkers. We work as a team to help build or supply this amazing company succeed.
He is a extremely good businessman and has given many people opportunities to grow and develop their career.
They have a lot of employees that stay long-term and full career. They always took care of their employees, both from the business point of view, but also from safety. Safety was utmost important to them.
And you can talk to the people who worked with Carlton many years. They go to war for him for that.
One of the greatest leadership values that I've learned from my father is be generous, give. He's very involved in the community, whether it's on the religion side in his church and things they do, political side.
I saw Carlton and some of them very involved in supporting our political leaders, supporting our businesses, and helping to grow the area.
Carlton recently became the chairman of the National Ready-Mix Concrete Association, NRMCA, and he has been involved with that organization for a number of years in a leadership role, and now he's chairing this organization. And this is an important organization because they impact concrete and concrete companies and the standards and the specifications and ultimately the quality and the price for all of North America.
because it's helping to improve our industry with classes and certifications for trucks and plants and people. It's a great, it's almost like a family organization because most people are family-owned businesses that are in there, or they've been bought out by vertically integrated companies. And so the vertically integrated companies are being greatly influenced by family values and by helping build a strong, good culture for our national industry.
And I'm real proud that Carlton has been selected to be a laureate, and he exemplifies what they stand for, and that is helping others, helping those that need a helping hand, helping young people.
Junior achievement and its mission is really important to Shreveport Bossier because it helps build the workforce, and it gives people an idea, young people, an idea of what they can be, what they can become.
And it's implementing into these kids at a young age financial literacy and entrepreneurship, teaching them, the basics of that and what you have to do to be successful.
Junior achievement inspires and prepares people for the global economy, young people, and I'm glad to be a part of that. Also, teaching young people how to manage their money, plan for the future, and invest and build better communities.
Carlton, congratulations on your achievement. I cannot thank you enough for being a great mentor to me and continuing to be a mentor to me, and I cannot think of a more deserving person to receive this award.
And we're so proud of you for receiving this award. You're most deserving of it, and we appreciate the Junior Achievement for bringing out this opportunity to talk about Carlton Golden. What a great person you are, and we all love you.
Carlton, congratulations on this award and this recognition. It's very deserving. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for everything you did for the community. You're a great guy, and so this is well deserving, so thank you very much.
Dad, congratulations on this incredible award. I'm so excited for you, and they couldn't have picked a better person. Over the years, you have taught me and my brother some of the greatest principles in life, but the greatest one that you have taught me is to treat people with respect and to love people more than you love yourself. And thank you so much for teaching me the greatest leadership values, to turn to God even through the hardest decisions. Dad, I love you so much, and I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on this amazing award.
Hey, Dad, congratulations on this great award and great achievement. You've worked your whole life in this community, trying to be an amazing leader and an amazing role model. And you've been a phenomenal leader for our organization, for our business, for my family, for your family, and for myself. And I greatly appreciate everything you do. And I just want to say congratulations, and you sure do deserve this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carlton Golden to the stage.
Wow, Malcolm, Wayne, Trey, Levi, Clay, thank you for a great video tonight. You know, how would you like to follow Whit and Ross at this point? No, they've been great friends, and I'm excited about being a JA laureate, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know, Whit gave the message, and I think Ross gave the benediction, so it's my job to take up the offering and the altar call. You know, I do appreciate the JA Selection Committee for choosing me and allowing me to be one of the laureates. It's very important to me, and the board of directors and all the teachers and mentors that are there with Junior Achievement working daily. Whit and Ross, it's an honor to be with you and among the other alumni to be numbered with you guys as a laureate. My first rendition of my speech, took notes and I thought about it for several weeks and had it together, and I put it together and it was 1 hour long. So I figured since I was told 15 minutes that I better cut that down some. So then I made cliff notes out of it. And then with my cliff notes, they were about 45 minutes long. So I made cliff notes of my cliff notes, and it got down to about 30 minutes. And then after I made cliff notes of my cliff notes, I took every third word out, and it got down to 15 minutes. And I found out yesterday it's supposed to be 5 minutes. So we'll see how it goes from there. I'd like to thank my friend and Savior Jesus for having to go to him often and for the guidance that I seek from him when during difficult times. You know, I also want to thank my family for being here tonight. And not only are my two sons, but I have my daughter here tonight too. And I'm sorry that that wasn't listed. But Sydney, I'm glad you and Clayton are here. And I'm glad that all my in-laws are here. I'm glad that Alan and Mary are here. And Grand's here. And my friends Malcolm and all of you. It's just been an amazing journey in my life with this. And I really appreciate everybody being here. And uncles, Uncle Bill's here. And my Aunt Joanne. So all of my mother-in-law and father-in-law have gone through some health issues the last 3 or 4 months, but they're doing really well today, and I'm very grateful that they're here with us tonight also, and sister-in-laws and everybody that's here. You know, and I'm also very happy that some of our Builder Supply family members are here. My Aunt Pat's here, I see, and then there's also my wife, Rachel. I don't know how I can say enough for her. I drag her across the country at different meetings and different things. I hold on to her coattails other places, and she's just an amazing woman. She's an amazing parent. She's an amazing grandparent, and just very proud and honored to have her as my wife. And she's a person I look forward to come home to every day at the end of the day, and a person I can gladly be with, and my soulmate. You know, we always like to talk together before we go to sleep at night, and we talk about what's going on the next day in your schedule. And she asked me about 6 months ago, what's happening in your schedule tomorrow? I said, I don't know, but I've got an extremely, very, very important meeting coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. And she said, what's it about? I said, I don't know. She said, well, how can you have an important meeting and not know what it's about? And I said, well, I got this phone call from Merritt Chastain. And he said, George Nelson Jr. and Jerry Montgomery want to come see you and make an appointment to visit with you about something very important. And so obviously it was junior achievement after they got there, but Merritt was a very special person in my life. Wherever he was a leader, and he was always friendly to people and outgoing, and he was, I'm grateful that he was a friend of mine. I want to take just a few moments. I've cut my speech in short, a lot shorter than what it was even before, but I want to talk about mentors and different people that have been mentors to me in my life that make a difference for you. The first one I'd like to mention is my grandfather. I had the privilege and honor to work with him for 22 years at Builder Supply Company, and there's many cliches he would say, but one that I enjoyed the most was, and I remember quite often, if it's worth doing it right, was one of his mottos. I also worked with my dad for 46 years, Grady C. Golden Sr., and when bidding jobs, he would always say, you got to measure the risk and the reward. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something in business. Next person would be, let me back up. It's an extreme honor to be able to follow in his footsteps to receive this award tonight. The next person that's been a very big mentor in my life is William F. Golden, my Uncle Bill, who's here tonight. I've been able to work with him for 48 years and counting. I like that and counting part. We've got many more years working together. He doesn't like credit. He doesn't like to be recognized, but he's hardworking every day in the industry, in our business, and in the community. He's behind the scene, and he's been a tremendous part of my life and a great mentor. Right now, he's very uncomfortable, I'm sure, with me mentioning him, what a great influence he's been in my life. Also, Wayne Brown. For 50 years, I've known Wayne. When I was 13, I started deer hunting, or duck hunting rather, and also fishing with him and my dad. He and my dad were best friends, and through the years, he's been a strong mentor to me in the business and personal life, and also he's been important to me. Hold on a second. It's been important to me in getting involved in the community. He introduced me to Greater Bossier Economic Development over 30 years ago, where I've been serving on that board for 30 years, and the Committee of 100 in Shreveport and the Committee of 100 in Baton Rouge. been a very big part of my life, and being able to come into the community and give back. Malcolm Smoke, a good dear friend of mine you saw a few moments ago, he's important to me in my life. As I've watched his leadership at SWEPCO and growing through the ranks there and becoming the president, and the different things he's done and how he treated people and how he earned their respect and worked close with his employees. Those type mentors are very important to you and have helped me make it through life in a lot of areas. In closing, I'd just like to say real quickly that there are many ways that we can become entrepreneurs. We can become an entrepreneur by buying a business, by creating a product, by working in a business and eventually buying that business. And we can also, Junior Achievement provides education that we have to have, the financial responsibilities, the business plans, the encouragement of yes, you can be successful, yes, you can do well in your business. And Junior Achievement is more important today than it was last month. Junior Achievement is more important today than it was last year for our nation. Junior Achievement is more important than it's ever been. If you want your children and grandchildren to be able to own private property, and Ross said it very eloquently earlier about capitalism, but if you want your children to know about own private property someday or have the opportunity to have a business and the opportunity to grow in whatever field they'd like to, you better be teaching them about free enterprise. You better be teaching them about capitalism and entrepreneurship. If you don't believe me, just look at New York today. Now think about that and let that sink in. Our freedom and our free enterprise and our capitalism is under attack in different places. It's very important for us to do that, to stay on top of that and teach our children and grandchildren and our neighbors and everybody else's children about it. But I've got great news. Junior Achievement is providing that education daily. And I think it's time for all of us to continue to give to Junior Achievement our time, our effort, being mentors, teachers, and also the dollars to help make sure that happens. And Nita, where are you? In my dad's immortal words, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mr. Golden, thank you for being a part of this evening's event to raise funds to inspire and prepare young people to succeed. Thank you for going all in to bring awareness to the JA programs. JA is ready to partner with you. Ladies and gentlemen, some good news. We're getting close to the end of this evening. But first, we have some more to tell you. We want to say thank you to the Shreveport Convention Center for allowing the Junior Achievement North Louisiana Business Hall of Fame to relocate to this incredible space that's seen by so many people who visit from all over the area and the country. Well, as you know, to have Junior Achievement in the classroom, it requires time away from the job. Please take a moment to read the names of those businesses who provide volunteers to assure that our curriculum is available to area students. And if you have been inspired to help JA empower young people, we do have a place for you or your business team to volunteer. Remember to check out the Junior Achievements Facebook page and to like us to see the pictures and the video of tonight's program. Well, before we leave tonight, it's my pleasure to welcome back to the stage the President and Executive Director for Junior Achievement of North Louisiana, Nita Cook.
Get some shorter people next year. Okay. So there's lots of things I want to say. First of all, this has been a wonderful evening, and we could not do it without you. We could not do it with our 3 new laureates that we inducted this year, which I'm so honored, proud, privileged that you all said yes when the call came. When the call comes, it's probably really not fair because we have 3 of your probably really good friends come and talk to you about saying yes. But we don't mind that we twist your arm a little bit because it's for a good cause. At the end of the evening, we take so many of these home, and I would encourage you to take a minute to actually take it home, make it a coffee table book for a little bit. We have a short description of all of our programs in here. We have the list of who supports JA, and opportunities for you to plug into the community and into our schools. So, speaking of schools, I just want to tell you, when students connect the dots between classroom learning and their own future success, because you know it's all about me, myself, and I when you're a kid, right? But when they connect those dots, they learn how to make good academic decisions. Thus, they end up making good economic decisions in their life. These decisions now and in the future attack the dropout rate. JA students have a much greater chance of staying in school, even when they weren't having such a great time in school, even when they learned differently. Junior achievement programs have about, when the volunteers go in the classroom, for instance, elementary, there's 5 45 to 55-minute lessons, but the lesson is about 15 or so minutes, and then they immediately do an activity. And when they do this activity, it allows them to take all those key terms and the concepts and everything that they've heard about in the first 15 minutes and put it into an activity or a game. And this allows them to file it. They file it in their brain where they can actually retrieve it again. It's not unzipping the head and throwing in a bunch of stuff. It's age-appropriate lessons, sequential lessons that teach them how to be successful. Can young people in the second grade learn what entrepreneurship is? Sure they can, and they do every year. So I mentioned earlier we had 11,478 students last year. We'd gotten down to like 3,000 at COVID. And so it's taken a little bit to get back up, and I would really love to be at that 25,000 mark pretty soon. So with your help, we can definitely do that. We can help students turn I can't into I can. We can help. When I went to the we have nice meetings that get together with all of our 99 JA areas, like the education directors, the program managers, everyone. And when we decided what the new JA was going to look like in this huge change of technology, the message that kept coming through was hope. And the students, they may not have hope, but all they have to do is have a little support from a mentor. It's really a great time when this room is filled with 14 high schools, 30-ish kids from each high school. We have like 400 kids and 150 mentors. That table of 8, or maybe one table of 9 you represented tonight, you have 6 students from 6 different schools and 3 mentors at each school. That's called JA Empower. We teach them how to introduce themselves, how to interview, and that's what we do with the funds that we earn tonight. Coming up November 19th, we have JA BHoF. That's going to be a summit for girls. It's business-oriented leadership development. Here we'll have 6 girls. We'll have the same table, 6 girls from 6 different schools, and we'll have 2 women mentors. So anybody that's interested in that, please look for that in the book and sign up to be a mentor for these women. And there we teach them, leadership skills, and it's, again, the soft skills, so that they begin to, at the end of that meeting, every time when we have a program, we have the students stand up and talk between each session that we do. They are describing themselves as confident and courageous because they now look at soft skills such as communication, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and they start using those adjectives to describe themselves, and it does help them to become confident and courageous. So I want to thank a couple of people real quick. Keith Burton is the superintendent. He was also our 5th grade teacher for my kids at South Highland, so I've known him a long time. And when I came into junior achievement, he's always been such a big support. And now with the help of Colonel Layfield and the JROTC cadets in the program and the airmen at the Barksdale Air Force Base, it helps us overcome the shortage of volunteers that we sometimes have in the community for businesses. And Sergeant Alvin Gardner tonight that brought those JROTC cadets and posted the colors, such a proud man you must be, because they just did a fabulous job. I just want to thank you for that so much. Now, I'm a civilian, and I didn't plan on General Armagost coming here tonight, but I didn't plan on all those pictures of his airmen being in there and him sitting here watching it. But I'm so glad you did, because I want to thank you for allowing that to happen on base. It's such a great partnership, and I can't wait to bring some of the rural community schools to y'all as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So also, lastly, I guess I want to thank Honorary Chairman and JA Laureate John Atkins for helping tonight. Thank you, appreciate it so much. The words that the laureates say come from the heart when they get up here to speak. And John, you just did a fabulous job explaining what JA is and helping our mission have more awareness. Then also, I want to thank Laura for getting up and doing the prayer and the pledge. I want to thank Colonel Layfield for speaking tonight. I want to thank our 3 laureates, but also I want to thank their wives. Being a JA laureate is not easy. Okay, so we want you to find your friends to video, and we want you to give us 50 pictures to support that video. Then we want you to give us a mail list of your finest friends and family to come tonight and share this evening. It was worth it. I hope y'all enjoyed every moment of it, because we certainly enjoyed hearing all about you and your accomplishments and how you want your community to grow better. Thank you to your families. With the help of Junior Achievement USA, Junior Achievement is able to meet these new technology changes to use for our students in the classroom, and we're in a position to serve more. We can't do that without your help, and we truly, truly appreciate it. I want to make a special thanks to Ed Walsh tonight for sharing your talents. You're fabulous. You make my life easy, because sometimes I don't plan, like, I'm not as detailed. So it's nice when I have somebody like you that can do that. Dr. Grace Baricas is serving her 12th year as checking folks in and helping me with the Business Hall of Fame. She is a queen of support. Our board members, our staff, thank you all for helping tonight. Now, lastly, before we go, and Brent Latton's taking our pictures. Thank you, with Young Pros. I appreciate that. And Gutierrez Chuck with our media and filming us so y'all can watch this later. I want to ask, before we break, for the JA laureates, the 3 new laureates, to come up to the stage now, because if I don't, I won't see you for your picture that we're going to take together. So if you could go ahead and make your way to the stage. Grady. Let's see. Okay, Ross knows he's a laureate tonight. Okay, that's good. And so we're going to go ahead and set the stage for some pictures, and then go ahead and go in the middle. And we'll take these 3 together. If you want to grab your trophy, just your glass, your crystal, not the base, and come back to the middle. We're going to stage a couple of pictures, and then next I want the wives to join them. Noni, Allison, Rachel. Will y'all come up here as well? And y'all have to be patient one more time. As soon as we take a picture of their wives, I would like the rest of the JA laureates to join if you would like to. Okay? If you join me. Every year we change this just a little bit. Okay. All right. Y'all drive careful. If we'd like to take any pictures up here, families, please go ahead and come. Thank you for coming tonight. We look forward to doing this every year and really appreciate y'all participating.